road rage seems crazy, right? You chase a car, and the best case scenario is that you accomplish nothing but at least don't get killed. And the worst case scenario is that you get killed. That is my idea of an unappealing menu of outcomes. And yet, we've all had the urge, right? Like when you're on a highway on-ramp and a guy who could just let you merge into his lane decides instead to turn the whole thing into a macho death match? Very annoying. Once I actually did start speeding up, like I was going to catch the guy and bring him to justice. But my wife's superior judgment carried the day. Plus, his car was faster than mine. Now, here is some good news. Understanding why we have that urge, that thirst for retribution, is the first step toward liberation. Liberation from what, you ask? Well, from road rage, obviously, but also from all kinds of other retribution-related stuff. Like dwelling on how somebody did you wrong, even if their crime was pretty minor. Like they just didn't show you as much respect as you think you deserve. Or fantasizing about giving them their comeuppance. Or actually giving them their comeuppance and then, shortly after sending the comeuppance-giving email, thinking, wait, I probably shouldn't have sent that email. Or not ever giving them their comeuppance, but nursing your grievance and recycling your revenge fantasies until you've become a bitter, hateful, chronically aggrieved person, a mere shell of your former self. There. Doesn't liberation from that sound appealing? Good. Okay. The first step toward liberation is to pursue this line of questioning. Why do humans have a retributive impulse in the first place? Why do we feel so strongly that people who do us wrong should be punished? And why do we have the intuition that once they're punished, some kind of moral balance will have been restored? And why does imagining that restoration of balance feel so good? The answer from evolutionary psychology takes us back to hunter-gatherer days, that very long phase during which just about all of human evolution took place. Back then, if someone took advantage of you, stole your food, stole your mate, or just generally treated you like dirt, you needed to teach them a lesson. After all, if they learn they can get away with abusing you, they may do it again and again. Plus, others in your small social universe will see that you can be exploited, so they may start mistreating you. And that would make your genes less likely to get into the next generation. So genes that incline you to just sit there and tolerate all this wouldn't do well on the evolutionary marketplace. But suppose there were genes that inclined you to get so indignant about being exploited that you confronted your exploiter and were willing to come to blows. Of course, you might lose the fight, but even so, even if you got pretty beat up, you'd have sent the message that there's a cost for disrespecting you. And that message would pay big dividends over time. So those genes that encourage this behavior would, over the generations, do pretty well. And that, apparently, is a big part of the reason that the retributive impulse is with us today. You may already be pondering the absurdity of the way this impulse can play out in a modern environment. That driver you feel like punishing is someone you'll never see again, and so are all the drivers who might witness any revenge you manage to wreak. So retribution brings you no practical benefit whatsoever, and risking your life for zero benefit strikes me as not a good investment. Now, obviously, not every appearance of the retributive impulse in the modern world is as crazy as road rage. Also, obviously, sometimes the retributive impulse works. You give somebody a taste of their own medicine, they learn their lesson, and they start treating you with a little more respect. It can happen. Still, I predict that your life will, on balance, be better if you at least try to keep asking yourself, what are the chances of that payoff happening in this particular case? Let's suppose that the grievance you're nursing at the moment does eventually motivate you to dish out some punishment to the wrongdoer. Would that really wind up helping you? Or is the modern environment different from a hunter-gatherer environment in ways that make that payoff unlikely? Now here comes the big question. Once you decide a grievance is counterproductive, how do you let go of it? Well, first of all, that judgment itself, just realizing that the grievance is counterproductive, may help a bit. But if you want more help than that, I recommend sitting down, closing your eyes, and thinking about the wrongdoer in question. Observe the feelings that arise. Feelings of hostility, of indignation, and any other feelings that steer your thoughts toward retribution. If you sit and do that long enough, the feelings will probably start to lose some power. And if you perform this exercise a few times, they will lose power in a more enduring way. You will find that you are less and less controlled by them. Congratulations, you are on the path to liberation.